In today's video, it's the Zim family 2023 Year in Review. Kellyn and I celebrated our 42nd year of marriage, 3 years in our new house in Washington, and 2 years with our Cocker Spaniel, Carli. I went on 5 cruises this year, and 4 of them didn't cost me a thing. That's 63 cruises for me so far. And it looks like things are going to slow down for me in the new year as my work with YouTube seems to be winding down. The first of the cruises that Kellyn and I did together this year was a Mexican Riviera cruise on Celebrity Solstice, and that was the very first time we've cruised with Celebrity. Our travel agent was able to set us up with a really great deal on this cruise, and we enjoyed it a lot. The other cruise that both Kellyn and I were on together was a cruise on the rivers of Tennessee, Kentucky, and Alabama with American Cruise Lines on their ship American Serenade. The highlight of this cruise was a day in Nashville, where we had a great time seeing a show at the Grand Ole Opry. Other highlights of the cruise were a visit to the NASA facility in Huntsville, Alabama, and a visit to the legendary Muscle Shoals recording studios. The other 3 cruises that I went on solo were also with American Cruise Lines. ACL likes the publicity that they get when I make YouTube videos about my cruises with them, so they've been extremely generous about inviting me to cruise at their expense, and they even pay for my airfare. Besides the Tennessee cruise with ACL, there were also cruises to the Chesapeake Bay region, the Great Lakes, including Niagara Falls, and the coast of Maine. In prior years, there were ACL cruises on Puget Sound, the Mississippi River, and the Columbia River, all at American Cruise Line's expense. Collaborating with ACL has been an amazing opportunity for me to visit a lot of interesting parts of the country without having to pay for it. Now, as far as what Kellyn has been up to this past year, she continues to enjoy spending her free time working on projects in her big craft room. I'm showing you some pictures of some of the things she's created. When we lived in California, she had a 10-foot by 10-foot room for her craft room, 100 square feet. Here at our new home in Washington, her craft room is 400 square feet. It has been really great for her to have such a large space to work on embroidery, sewing, quilting, and other creative pursuits. A major accomplishment for her this year was to create, from scratch, a mannequin that matches her body measurements, and she uses that in the creation of custom-made clothing that is precisely sized just for her. Now, Carli, our Cocker Spaniel, is completely bonded with Kellyn. The two of them are rarely more than just a few feet apart. In fact, Kellyn elected not to go on 3 of the cruises I went on this year so that she and Carli could have more time together. This is me, believe it or not, over 50 years ago with my very first Cocker, and I've had Cockers almost continuously ever since. Carli is one of the best Cockers I've ever had, and maybe you're wondering why that is. Well, Cockers do best when they can spend every minute of the day with people, and Carli has really thrived from having the full attention of her 2 retired people. Now, after 3 years in our new home here in southeastern Washington, all the trees and landscaping in our yard have finally grown out nicely. Our garden was very productive in 2023, bringing us berries, cantaloupe, peaches, strawberries, peppers, onions, tomatoes, and pumpkins. I was also able to grow and sell quite a few young maple trees this year from seeds off of the many maple trees in our yard. In the spring, summer, and fall, I spend a good chunk of every day nurturing all the things that are growing in our yard, but once winter rolls around, I go into my version of hibernation, spending a lot more time watching movies, TV shows, and YouTube videos. Kellyn's focus is pretty steady throughout the year, working on projects in her craft room, feeding me, and getting much joy from Carli. Now, while the weather here in Washington is certainly different than what we experienced for so many years on the coast of California, we've adapted to it quite well, I think. Now, I know a lot of my old California friends probably snicker at our 100-degree summers and 30-degree winters, but we like the 4 seasons that we get to experience here. And our modern house, the hot tub, the big backyard, and a low cost of living have made this a wonderful place for us to enjoy our retirement years. Now, 3 years ago, just before we moved up here to Washington, I retired from my 28-year career working at a nuclear power plant in California. But over the last 3 years, I really haven't felt retired because I've been so busy working on the landscaping on this half-acre lot that we live on and also making videos for YouTube. Writing, shooting, editing a new video each week has been a lot of work, but that looks like it's winding down now. My mix of travel videos and model train videos just doesn't seem to be clicking on YouTube like it was there for a while. 3 or 4 years ago, it wasn't unusual for one of my videos to get over 1 million views. In fact, 28 of my YouTube videos have done it. But YouTube's algorithm has changed, and they're just not recommending my videos like they used to. Most of the videos I released in 2023 just got a few thousand views, not millions, and none of them got more than 80,000 views. That's way less views than my new videos have gotten in previous years. Now, thankfully, my older videos from years ago are still getting views. My most watched video in 2023 was the one titled Big Model Trains Running Inside My Small House. But years ago, I sold off the rights to that video, so I don't get any of the advertising revenue on that one. The video that brought in the most advertising revenue for me this year was the one titled A Model Train Video for Kids and the Young at Heart, which brought in over $2,000 in new ad revenue for me this year, which is great for a video that I made over 4 years ago. Now, the older I've gotten, the harder it has become for me to get down on the ground to set up track for model train layouts. I've had a herniated disc in my lower back that has gotten a lot worse lately, so creating new model train layouts for new videos has just gotten really painful. And to be honest, a few years ago, when a new model train video would get millions of views and bring thousands of dollars my way from advertising revenue, it was totally worth it to go to all the trouble of building new layouts for new model train videos. But now, I don't think it is anymore. So, I think in 2024, you're not going to see many new model train videos from me. There will be some, but nowhere near as many as in years past. Like maybe 3 over the entire year, I'm guessing. And you won't always see a new video from me every week in 2024 either. When I go on a cruise, I'll definitely do some videos about that. In fact, a couple of months from now, I'll be cruising on Icon of the Seas, the incredible new ship from Royal Caribbean. Kellyn and I will be on board just a few weeks after the ship completes her first passenger cruise. So I suspect there will be a lot of interest in the videos I'll be making about Icon of the Seas. A few months after that, we'll be doing another amazing cruise. We've decided to totally splurge and sail once again in the Haven on Norwegian Cruise Line, which is not cheap. In fact, we've decided that for this one cruise, we're going to do all the things we want to do without ever worrying about what it costs. So we're going to be going all out. I'll probably be making at least a couple of videos about that, and I think you'll enjoy seeing those. And besides cruises, when I do any other traveling in the coming year, I'll make videos about that too. For example, a few weeks from now, I'll be flying to Las Vegas to cross 2 things off of my bucket list. I'm going to attend a show inside the Sphere. And I'm also going to be going to one of Guy Fieri's restaurants there in Las Vegas. I've been a huge fan of the Guy Fieri food that they serve on Carnival cruise ships, especially the trash can nachos that they serve in some of the Pig and Anchor restaurants on Carnival. I've wanted to eat at a Guy Fieri restaurant on land ever since I found out that when you order the trash can nachos at a Guy Fieri restaurant on land, you get about 4 times as large of a portion as you do at the Guy Fieri restaurants on Carnival. So between that and wanting to experience the Sphere, that's why I'll be doing a Vegas trip very soon. But overall, in 2024, I'm planning on spending a lot less time making YouTube videos than I have in the past. Up until just recently, I've tried to put out a new video once a week, but from here on out, don't be surprised if it's a few weeks between each of my new videos. Well, before I go, I want to just thank you for watching my videos and for being interested in what I've been doing all these years. I truly hope that you are well, that you've been able to enjoy lots of time with family and friends over the holidays, and I hope that you have many new adventures and a lot of fun in 2024.